Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Ray and Jay Show. I'm Ray.
And I'm Jay.
That's right. We'd like to welcome you all to another exciting episode. It's going to be a great one. Today, we're going to be talking about self esteem, how we can raise our self esteem, what we can do, tips. Jay, you want to shed some light on that first?
Yeah, sure. Self-esteem for Mental Health Mondays, guys. As always, Mental Health Mondays. But self-esteem, I feel, in my perspective, right? We definitely aren't the experts, but it's definitely our opinion of how we can help you guys with certain areas in your life, right? And so, again, self-esteem for myself. You can have a low self-esteem, you can have an inflated self-esteem or a high self-esteem. And where you really want to be is having a high self-esteem of yourself. And really what you think about yourself means the most, and not being too overly confident and just being cocky. A lot of people look at it as if that person is overly confident and that they have an inflated self-esteem. And to me, how I feel that we can improve, I think that when we feel low about ourselves and you feel certain negative things about yourselves, you know, I, when we feel certain things about ourselves, it's something that you is not on your own. It's something that has been planted in your mind since you were a child or since, certain events in your life. You don't feel like you measure up. You feel like you're not enough. And in maybe certain crowds that you're hanging around and people that you associate yourself with. But I feel that, in order for you to boost your self-esteem is focusing on those micro wins. And I say micro wins is saying, basically acknowledging steps that you take in your life, and I feel that when you acknowledge yourself and the small successes and every day, hey, I'm showing up, I'm doing this, at least clap for yourself, recognize the things that you do, right? And stop acknowledging all the bad and all the negative, in my opinion.
Right. Like I was discussing with you before, and I've told other people in the past, it's like I had at least like 30 years of low self-esteem because I grew up that way. I was brainwashed like by my parents, mainly my mother, who used to tell me ever since, I could remember that, that I was terrible, that I was a disgrace, that I was miserable, that I was the worst thing that ever happened to them, that I shouldn't exist, blah, blah, blah. All these negative things that stayed in my brain. And so, these days, what I tell people is whoever you hear that from, just block it, just ignore it right away. Don't listen to that. Whatever they're saying, just believe the total opposite. If I would have been able to do that when I was a little kid, I mean, today it would be amazing. I mean, luckily, like I've been very positive the last 2, 3 years. I wasn't always that way, but I think that one of the things that you should do if you're around people or somebody that's negative. Well, number one, you shouldn't be around negative people, but if you have to be, just ignore what they say to you. Just block it and just believe the absolute opposite of it. You know, you have to just believe the total opposite. And now that I think about it, I remember all those things that like my mother used to say to me. It's like a joke. I poke fun at it now. I mean, that's no way to talk to somebody. You know, but we have to build this nice, great, healthy self-esteem. It's important for us so we can live our lives the way we should be. We should all have a nice, strong, healthy self-esteem, positive, so we can go out and do great things, help other people. And I'm very happy that I no longer have a low self-esteem. I have, I guess you say, a high one. Is that the is that the right terminology for it? A great one?
But it takes work, though. I mean, I guess it's something that you're not going to conquer it. You're not going to overcome it within a day. It takes work. It's
No,
like going to the gym. I mean, it
no,
takes
no.
work, like
Yeah,
building that muscle.
yeah,
And when I like back when I mentioned about just it's steps, man, just acknowledging, hey, I did that right, or hey, I did do this, or I did challenge myself in this way, or I did finish this, or I did accomplish that. It's I think how you really boost yourself is
yeah,
really clapping for your damn self because a lot of this stuff that people say, man, it's projection. They
yeah,
tell you these negative things, or they're making you feel inferior, man, is because they're miserable. I mean, only hurt people, and it's projection, man. So those are the type of people you don't need to be around. People that's going to bring you down.
Yeah, we don't need those kind of people. But you're right. I mean, it took many years of work for me. I mean, it took like about 5 years. I had to be, yeah, in intense therapy for 5 years. I used to have multiple sessions a week for years after my last suicide. That's when I had my lowest self-esteem. And pretty much every time I committed suicide is because of I had low self-esteem. Now that I have a high self-esteem, I have absolutely no desire to do that. And I tell everybody, that's definitely not the right choice. There's a lot of alternatives. You belong in the world. You should be here. But basically, it took a while because I had to find the right therapist. But besides that, I had to reprogram myself. I had to rebrainwash myself to negate everything that my mother had been doing to me for decades. I had to get rid of all that. And luckily I was able to do that. I mean, everybody can, but some people it takes longer. I know there's people that take 10 years, 20 years. Luckily for me, it was about 5 years. But yeah, it was a lot of work because, when I first started, I tried to, I would say to myself, I'm great. I'm not great because that's how, like, my mother, she trained me as a kid. But over time, I started believing, hey, I am great. Or I can be great. I can do great things. Yeah, I grew up in a way where, you know, it wasn't like that. Basically,
Right.
I was born and raised to be a failure. So I I had to I had to negate all that. To actually, like, today I laugh about it because, like, who would raise a kid like that? Like, you want to raise somebody to be great, but I wasn't. I was raised to have a terrible self-esteem, to think I was nothing or below nothing. That's how I was treated for years. And I'm guessing that somewhat your background similar to mine. I mean, we come from similar backgrounds, but and so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, I feel that, yeah, it definitely is something that's planted into your mind. And when you feel that you're not good enough and you're going to make a mistake or you would fail, and it's, you've heard these things. I've heard things too when I was young. You're not going to amount to anything. You're not going to be this. You're not going to be that. So, when you go through your life and you face certain challenges, that's the first thing that popped up in your mind. But then, to your point, as you said, you went through therapy, and what that therapist did for you, or just what anybody could really do, is identify why. Why is that? Why am I thinking this way? Where's this coming from? And when you start to really just dig deep and start to understand, it takes work, man. It's
yeah,
internal work, right?
thanks.
And you got to say, where is this coming from? These are not my, because I know I'm capable of doing anything. We're capable of doing hard things. All of you people that are watching, that are listening, you are capable of doing hard things. But I think a lot of people, and I'm telling you, it's not just us, Ray. I'm telling you, it's a lot of people that feels this way. And maybe it may be on a smaller scale. And some people are good at hiding it. Some people are
Yeah,
really, because I made a video today about, just taking a break and not having this foolish pride. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to have these days where you don't feel like you're okay, or you feel like, man, today is tough. I can't do it. But I also feel like it's the environment. If you have an environment of people that are putting you down, that are demeaning you, that's definitely not the problem. You need to change that crowd up. You don't need to hang around and associate with those people because you think they're cool. No, 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 no. I think everybody wears this mask. Everybody has something that they're dealing with, right? And some people will cover those things up, the low self-esteem, right? They'll cover that up with, look at what I got, look at what I can, and to put others down. So a lot of it, was projection. And because these other people are so sad and miserable, and then they're putting their feelings off on you. So if your mother or father couldn't do it themselves, they're going to project and say, oh, well, you're not going to be this. And then we as children, we gain that. We absorb everything like a sponge. And so when we go out into the world, we're trying to be our own adults and think for ourselves. Now the parents or whomever it is in your life, since you're young, they put that in your head, and now you go towards life feeling that you can't, or you're not good enough, and you're not strong enough, you're not capable. But the fact is, man, is that, you know, how you really build that and not really get that inflated self-esteem, right? It's good to have a high self-esteem because then you can create those good relationships with other people, and, and also be humble too, right? I mean, the fact is always to remain humble. but to never accept those negative words about yourself that actually makes you feel like you're not worth, that diminishes your self-worth, and you don't feel like you need to love yourself or care for yourself, or you need to take a break. You are worthy, you are special, you are loving, and you're smart above anything else. I mean, like I said, I love this quote, and it's by Albert Einstein. Everybody is smart, but if you judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree or spend its entire life thinking it's stupid. So my point is that we all are unique. We all are smart at something. We all have a genius level of talent. You just got to tap into that and believe in it. Doesn't mean you're not smart because you can't, get on there and host like Ray, and put that, comb your hair back like Ray, or like me that don't have that much like Ray. But,
Oh,
I love me. Ray loves him, and that's what we're ultimately trying to get out of this episode, is that, to boost your self-esteem, you need to hang around other people that are not going to diminish you. I'm not saying that you need to rely on others for your self-esteem. That's why it's called self. Everything is for yourself. So you rely on yourself. But ultimately, in my experiences, in my mind, is that how you build that is by noticing your behaviors and the things that you do. Clap for yourself when you do these accomplishments. You do something good at work. Man, I did that, or I got an award at work. Reward yourself. Man, say I am smart. Man, I'm capable of doing tough things. You go to the gym, you change yourself in any form or fashion. Clap for yourself, and take a mental note of that going forward. So hey, micro wins. I've done this. Next challenge comes up, regardless of what anybody has told me in the past, what I feel about myself, I know I can take on hard things. I'm capable.
absolutely. Absolutely. Number one thing, like I said, ignore whoever says these things, block them, think the absolute opposite of it. Don't pay attention to any of that negativity. There's no place for it. There's no time for it. There's no room for that. We only want positive things, positive people. Look at motivational videos, listen to motivational podcasts like this. Read motivational thing, positive things, build up your self-esteem, and have a collection of your top people that will motivate you. If it's through a Zoom or through the phone or in person, get charged up. I always talk to people, 3, 4 people, including Jay, every day to get charged. We have to find those people that charge us up, recharge us, and just make us great. And that's how we have these great self-esteems. I have a great one. Thank God. For the first time in my life, thank God, that I have it. It
He's
took me
glowing. He's glowing warm, people. He's glowing warm over there. You see him?
is I didn't have this at 5 years old. I didn't have it at 10. I didn't have it at 15, 20, 25. I didn't have it. I never had it. It's just like I said, last 5 years, more in particular, last 2 or 3, where I'm, this upbeat, even though I've been a host for over 20 years. I was doing the math, and it's actually I've been a host for almost 30 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
almost 30 years. In 2025, it's 30 years.
Wow.
But
Nice.
but for those first 20 years, it was a fake host. Like there's a lot of personalities out there on TV and on the radio that are fake. They're, hey, good morning, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the New York Morning Show, blah blah blah. And then out in public, antisocial, mean, whatever. They just put on a mask. They just put on a show. So I was putting on a show for years. Hey, I'm the greatest host. We're gonna have a great time. Everybody clap your hands, enjoy yourself. I used to be, I guess, a fake motivator, a fake host, fake whatever. Now I'm real. What you see is what you get. What you see here in the Zoom is what you get in person or on the phone or whatever. I'm completely real. I don't change. But
We're not in the matrix.
years ago, I wasn't. I would just come and do my show, and then I take off, and it's like, screw this guy, and I don't want to talk to this guy, and leave me alone, and antisocial and mean and all that. So I was fake positive, because
Fake
yeah,
positive.
I was fake positive. I get on stage and be like, hey, you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to be happy, and then before the show and after the show, I was miserable because I had a
Oh
terrible self
wow.
esteem. I had a terrible self esteem. But I was, I guess you could say, fake positive, fake host for years. Even though I was the most popular, I still am the most popular, most in demand for shows. People call me like crazy every day, multiple. Can you do this date? Can you do this? Can you go here? Can you go there? I've always been like that, but before it was fake. Even though I can tell you that. I am addicted to presenting. I'm addicted to presenting. I love to do shows. Like I have to do shows every weekend or every week. I have to do a show, not just like this kind of Zoom, but in person. The bigger the audience, the better. I don't have stage fright. I don't get nervous. I don't get bored. I don't get tired. I can go whatever. That for me is a self-esteem now that I can. It helps me boost it now that I can go out with the audience and really connect. And a lot of people come because they want to connect with me. They want to connect with me personally because that's what I do. I charge them and they charge me. We charge each other. And so I can raise people's self-esteem in 20 seconds by meeting them, even if it's a complete stranger. I mean, that's my ability. And I've always had it, but I have it more now. I hate to say it, but since the last time I had committed suicide, I came back and I came back new and improved, better than ever. So,
New and improved. Yeah, man. I say self esteem can be boosted,
yeah,
with your with self affirmations. And I
yeah,
love this little trick, and I share it with everybody. I would say for you to get in front of a mirror, and I love to use this, especially with my clients. You get in front of a mirror, and if you feel like you don't, we rely too much, self reliance on other people to hear these things from our spouses, from significant others, friends, whatever. But you need to tell yourself, clap for yourself, tell yourself you're proud. So my point is, when you get in front of a mirror, instead of depending on others, you need to tell yourself the things that you really want to hear. So get in front of a mirror. I promise you it works. Get in front of a mirror and you tell yourself, use your name. You want to hear I love you? Say it. I love you, Jay Johnson. I love you, Ray. And use your full name. I'm proud of you, Jay Johnson. Hey, you are amazing. Self affirmations. Self reliance too is key. I would say, and using these self affirmations, these affirmations to actually help boost yourself too. And it's important about your environment. Don't hang around toxic people, man, and people that are pretending, that they're invincible. They can't get hurt, and they're strong. They're always strong. We can't always be strong. Everybody
no,
can. You're not that tough. You're not built that way. We're human. You are human, and it's okay to have your bad days. But it's also important to make sure that you surround yourself around good people. And sometimes it could be your family. I mean, believe it or not, it can be your family. And you heard Ray say, and even myself from experience, it can be the ones that's in your family that can tear you down and break up that self esteem, especially if it isn't you're not strong as you really want to be.
yeah. Toxic family. you know,
Toxic, man.
toxic. It could destroy you. I mean, like I said, take it from me. I committed suicide many times because I grew up in the toxic family. Every day, you're a failure, you're the worst, you're a disgrace, blah blah blah. I mean, that's just such a waste. That's just such a waste. There's no way to live, you know. And I'm just very fortunate that today, I'm the total opposite of that. I take it a step further. Jay does the mirror. I'll do videos. I'll get on my phone or I'll get on the Zoom by myself and I'll do that, you know. And
That works too.
I'll say affirmation, and you can just play them back. You can either listen to them or
I
watch the
love that.
videos, and you can just self-program yourself to just raise up that self-esteem, and it never gets old. I mean, I've been doing it for the last couple of years, and it helps me. I mean, I'm always positive. I'm like 98% positive, 98% of the time happy because I charge myself, and then I meet with others, and they charge me, and that's what people have to do. Have to find ways to charge yourself every day, whatever it takes to keep you going. If you got a hard 9 to 5 or a hard overnight, or you got a big family and there's a lot of stress because there's kids or a toxic work environment, whatever, you have to figure out a way to just increase that self-esteem. And you want to talk more about it, you can always message me. I'm always on LinkedIn. You can message me on there if you want to talk to me. Jay, I'm not sure if you're accessible all the time,
Absolutely.
but
Yeah, man. Anybody, I'm here. I always put that out that I'm here. I'm available. You don't have to go. You don't have to go through life alone. We all need something or someone. And me and Ray, we're always here.
right, right. Like, I'm not a therapist. I didn't go to college for mental health. Actually an ex mad scientist. Now I'm just a regular scientist, but I was an ex mad scientist for at least 10 years, working in pharmaceuticals and cosmetics and all that. Um, the science made me mad, and the way I grew up didn't help. But I'm an expert on abuse. I suffered abusive relationship with my family for years, at least a decade or more. I committed suicide many times. I suffered from PTSD for over a decade, mental illness. I had addictions in my family. My father was a violent alcoholic, lived in a violent home. So I have a lot of background in this where I can give you tips. You know, I can give you techniques, I can give you strategy because I want to help you. I want to help you to make sure you become something very successful in life, somebody. You know, I don't want you to be a homeless person or unemployed or a drug addict or a criminal or suffering from mental illness. I don't want that. I want you to be a nice, friendly, professional, successful person because it can be accomplished. I take it from me, like I said, I suffered for years and I am living a decent life. And I just want that for everybody else. That's all I want.
Yeah. We are not mental health professionals. So if you
Oh,
do need help, you go get the help. There's nothing wrong with that.
no.
But we, like Ray mentioned, we're here to give you tips. Mental Health Mondays. We're always here to give you tips, just strategies perhaps that we know that helped us, and we're using these strategies to keep boosting through our own path, through our walk of life. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with help. There's nothing wrong with showing weakness. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, man. I'm telling you, I think that's more strength. You find more strength in that than anything else. Most people are too prideful, but do not show pride. We're all here together. We're all on this planet trying to figure out this thing called life. So, we're definitely here. We're always here. We would always be here. So if you need any one of us, feel free to reach out to any one of us, and we're both here.
Yeah, absolutely. Therapy helps. Therapy works. You just have to find the right person. Sometimes it takes a while. I went through many people. Luckily, I found a select few that pretty much saved my life. Talking helps, whether it's in a support group, Zooms, phone calls, whatever it is, talking helps. And just try it. Just try it. Keep doing it little by little, and you will overcome. You will overcome your situations.
Absolutely.
Mental Health Mondays. Every Monday. Every Monday, tune in where we help
Every Monday.
fix your mind, make your mind beautiful.
We want to make you feel good.
Yeah. Make you feel good on the Monday. Nobody feels better than us on a Monday, but you can feel just as good
Yeah,
or even
man.
better.
We're here for you guys, and we are your hosts.
That's right. On your favorite show, the Ray and Jay show. I'm Ray.
And I'm Jay, guys. Nothing but love.
We love you guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for messaging. And stay with us. Very soon, we're going to start having some interviews. I'm just lining up the guests. But every Monday, you know where to tune in, right, Jay? Where?
Absolutely. On Mental Health Mondays, we have the YouTube channel, LinkedIn,
All right.
anywhere. A
Right.
YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow us, stay up to date with the latest videos and episodes. We love you guys. We just want to support you. As two simple humans, just want to share love and positivity in this world. So that's our message for today.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next Monday.
Next Monday, guys.